All right, we are looking at the mastery check here. You're going to complete the analysis and reasoning part of the paragraph below using the following analysis tools: point of view, bias, intended audience, and author's purpose. So here's some helping points. I'm posting the source information from the article below so you don't have to scroll back and forth. Remember that it was written by various Newsela staff members. The title was The Rise of Adolf Hitler and World War II. It was published on History.com on February 2nd, 2017. I've done some highlighting here to help you see kind of the sections that I've broken it into. My answer or claim I highlighted in blue. The context or sourcing information that I'm giving is in yellow, and the evidence is going to be in green. Because we're only using one source, it's a little bit more like what you practice normally in ELA with Ms. Graham, rather than all of the different sources that we normally practice with. But let's take a look at what it sounds like. Adolf Hitler did many awful things and used many forms of oppression during his time in power, the worst of which was his persecution of the Jewish people known as the Holocaust. This secondary source article was written by Newsela staff in February of 2017 discussing the rise of Adolf Hitler. In the article it states, "One night in November 1938, Nazi gangs went on a rampage. They burned Jewish synagogues, their buildings of worship. They smashed the windows of Jewish buildings, littering the streets with glass. It became known as the Night of Broken Glass, or Kristallnacht in German." Using this to start an SCR, I'm going to finish the paragraph on the next page by completing the table. So we're not typing it traditional like paragraph, you're finishing it in these boxes. So the first box that we're going to complete is the point of view. What point of view was this article written from? Hint, remember, secondary sources are usually written from the point of view of a historian or somebody within that field. So this evidence was written from the point of view of, and you're responding to that. Bias. What does this source have a bias? Or was it written to inform, etc., etc.? Remember, are they pro-German, anti-German, pro-Hitler, anti-Hitler, pro the Allies, anti the Allies? The intended audience is who is this written for? You cannot just write, this was written for students to read on Newsela. It needs to go further than that. The author's purpose. What is it trying to teach us? So this is sort of, what is the central idea of the article? And last but not least, the reasoning. What makes destroying Jewish homes and businesses so awful? So remember, we're using the words oppression and persecution. I've even given you oppression here in the sentence stem. This proves that this form of oppression was so awful because. Once you're finished, you are turning in this document and you've completed the module. So there's no Edulastic quiz this particular time, but you need to make sure that you're going up here to the top and clicking your turn in button. Again, remember mine shows share, but you are doing turned in. If you do not turn this in, you do not get credit for this module. Thanks, guys.